Adi Parva, Book 1, Chapter 16. Each cried out that the Amrita was his, and they pressed forward together in their clamor for the nectar. Previously, two sisters observed the divine horse Uchai born from the churning of the cosmic ocean, and the narrative reaches back to explain that event's origins. The Devas gather on the golden summit of Mount Meru, steadfast in their austerity and intent on obtaining Amrita. Mount Mandara, finest among mountains, rose 11,000 yojanas into the sky and plunged equally deep beneath the earth. Its peaks were shaped like the summits of storm clouds, and a dense network of creeping vines clothed its slopes. Flocks of birds filled it with sound. Many-fanged creatures roam its depths, and kinnaras, apsaras, and devas frequented its heights. Yet for all their numbers, the hosts of devas could not uproot it. They came to where Vishnu and Brahma sat together and set their need before them. The mountain must be torn free, and it must be done for their benefit.
So be it, said Vishnu and Brahma together, O Bhargava. Then Ananta rose up at Brahma's urging, and on Narayana's instruction, equal to that great task. He seized the king of mountains by force, pulling it free along with all its forests and every creature dwelling within them. Carrying Mandara, the asuras made their way to the ocean and declared to its lord, "For the sake of Amrita, the nectar of immortality, we shall churn your waters." The Lord of Waters answered, "Let me also receive a share of it. I shall endure the great churning that Mandara's spinning will bring." They then turned to Akupara, king of the turtles. "You are fit to serve as the foundation for this mountain," they said. Akupara agreed and offered his back. Indra pressed the peak of Mandara firmly down upon it, and the work could begin. Blasts of wind laced with smoke and flame burst from his mouth. Those masses of smoke became storm clouds charged with lightning, and these rained down upon the hosts of Devas, who were already worn and scorched by their exertions. Meanwhile, from the summit peaks of the great mountain, showers of blossoms fell and scattered garlands over suras and asuras alike on every side. A tremendous roar rose from the churning ocean, like the thunder of mighty storm clouds. Countless aquatic creatures, crushed by the mountain, perished by the hundreds in the salt waters. Mandara brought destruction to the beings of Varuna's depths, and to the many creatures dwelling in Patala, the netherworld below the earth. As the mountain spun, great trees with birds still perched on their branches rubbed against one another and crashed down from the peaks. Fire born from this friction blazed up again and again, wrapping Mandara in its glow as lightning wraps a dark rain cloud. It burned elephants and lions as they fled before it, and all manner of creatures were robbed of their lives. Then Indra, foremost among the immortals, quenched that spreading fire on all sides with water drawn from the clouds. When the fire died away, sap from those great trees and the juices of countless herbs flowed down into the ocean's waters. From the potency of those sats, from the ocean's milk, and from an outflow of gold, the suras attained immortality. The ocean's water turned to milk, mingled with the finest essences, and from that milk arose ghee, the clarified butter. Still the Amrita had not appeared. The Devas came to Brahma, the giver of boons, and told him they were utterly exhausted. Without Narayana's strength among them, the Daityas and the foremost Nagas had long carried on the churning alone, and the Devas could endure no more. "O Vishnu," Brahma said, "bestow strength upon these. You are the sole refuge here." "I grant strength to all who are engaged in this task," Narayana replied. "Let the ocean be stirred vigorously by all together. Let Mandara be turned again." Hearing those words,
The mighty ones churned the milk of the great ocean into turbulent commotion once more. From the churning ocean arose Soma, the cool rayed moon, pure and luminous, blazing as though bearing 100,000 rays. Right after came Shri, goddess of fortune and beauty, clad in white. Then the goddess Sura, spirit of wine, and with her a white horse of wondrous swiftness. Then the divine jewel Kaustubha rose up, born of the Amrita itself, resplendent with brilliant rays. Glorious and gleaming, it came to rest upon Narayana's chest. Shri, Sura, Soma, and the swift horse, wherever the Devas went, these followed, ascending by the solar path to the celestial worlds. Then the divine Dhanvantari, physician of the gods, rose in his radiant form, bearing a white kamandalu in which the Amrita rested. At the sight of this, a great uproar broke out among the danavas. Each cried out that the Amrita was his, and they pressed forward together in their clamor for the nectar. Then Narayana assumed the Mohini Maya, an enchanting illusion, and drew close to the danavas in the form of a wondrous woman. Their minds were immediately bewildered, their thoughts entirely fixed upon her. And so it was that all those danavas and daityas, lost in enchantment, gave the Amrita into that woman's hands. This chapter matters because Mount Mandara is uprooted by Ananta at Vishnu and Brahma's command and carried to the ocean, where Devas and asuras together churn the waters, using Vasuki as a rope and the turtle Akupara as a foundation. In the next chapter, the battle for the Amrita, the Devas and asuras clash in a great battle over the Amrita just recovered from the churning of the ocean. The journey continues in the next chapter.